it's about basically this woman who begins this journey in her faith where she starts to like write down gifts that like little tiny blessings that she sees, just like in a really extreme way. Like she'll be like, thank you for like bubbles in the sink after she did dishes, or like a rainbow, or the way that wind goes through wheat, like the sound of it. And so she just basically like talks about the way that kind of like radical gratefulness can like change the way you look at life. Yeah, so I read it last year, and it took me like a year to read it because it's so rich and just like so challenging and encouraging. So I kind of treated it like a devotional almost, and I read it through a lot of different seasons of life. So like times I was reading it when I was like really like awesome and happy, and times when I felt more like sorrow in my life. One part towards the end, I will never probably be able to forget this moment because I was reading it at the end of this year that I had kind of started it, and she is talking about her trip to Paris and talking about how like in our faith there are times where there's like a full surrender, and it's not just like, okay, I believe in you if it's convenient, or like I go to church if I want to. It's like every part of my life is yours, Lord, and just like this like full surrender and the freedom that comes with that. And that was the point she was making. And in the book she was saying like she was on a flight home from Paris, and this beam of light came through the window and like illuminated the cabin or something on her red-eye flight home from Paris. And as I was reading it, I was on a plane back from Haiti, where I had just spent a month and been like emotionally wrecked by that country and like what I saw there, and this month pretty much by myself there. And like as I read that page, the light, like the sun was setting on the other side of the airplane from where I was sitting, and the light like shined through, I can talk, the whole cabin like directly across onto the book, and I was like, ah. Like it was the coolest thing. So yeah, I think something that I got to learn in a new way is this truth in my life that I can like also bring back to this book, because reading the book helped me to like seek the tiny little things, like that there were two cats and we named them tuberculosis and malaria, and so it was Tibby and Mal, and I would like hold them and find joy in that. Or like I could like find joy in the fact that a little boy that was like crying because he had an IV in his arm and it hurt him, like I could sit next to him and we did not speak the same language, and he was like calling me Blanc because I'm the only white person he's ever seen, but we could hold hands and just sit there and just sit in the afternoon and hold hands. The truth that I realized is that joy is absolutely different than happiness, and that happiness comes from your circumstances and from like what is affecting you to make you happy, and joy comes from God. And there's no way that they're the same thing, because I was not happy there, but I was full of joy.